Currently, we are in praying the Psalms, and today we are in Psalm chapter 2. You can follow along. David writes, "Why do the nations conspire and the peoples plot in vain? The kings of the earth rise up and the rulers band together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their chains, let us throw off their shackles. But the one enthroned in heaven laughs. The Lord scoffs at them. He rebukes them in his anger and terrifies them in his wrath, saying, I have installed my king on Zion, my holy mountain. Ask me, and I will make the nations your inheritance, the ends of the earth your possession. You will break them with a rod of iron." Verse 10, "Therefore, you kings, be wise, be warned, you rulers of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear and celebrate his rule with trembling." Verse 12 is so good. "Kiss his son, or he will be angry, and your way will lead to your destruction. For his wrath can flare up in a moment, but blessed are all who take refuge in him." As we reflect on this psalm, there's a few things to keep in mind. First, the psalmist David here is making it clear that all of us as human beings, we long to be ruled. However, the struggle is on a regular basis, we don't accept the one whom God has given to us to rule over us. Even for those of us who profess Jesus as Lord, it's natural for us, because of our sin, to kick against the way that he desires to rule over us. And so David gives us this picture of the kings, the entire group of nations rage against God, but almost they do so in vain, because God will do what God desires to do and what he pleases. And the good news here is that he has installed us a king, one who actually will be just. He will make all things right, and we can actually trust him. And so our invitation to reflect comes there from verse 12. Kiss his son, or he will be angry. And then he encourages us to take refuge in him. And so at first you think this idea is like this kind of brutal submission. Kiss his ring, submit to him. But the invitation at the end is to take refuge in him. And so this kind of surrendering to this king, this kind of yielding, is one that we do for our good, for our safety, for our actual lives. And so as we think about praying through this psalm, we realize that Jesus invites us today to trust him as our king. With all the things that you face today, with all the issues that you face, with even the things that maybe you are skeptical or resistant to surrender, know that today you surrender to a good king. And Jesus, we hear you inviting us to surrender ourselves to you as the one who rules over everything. And so we do that. We yield our wills, we yield our desires and our ambitions, and we entrust that our life is in good hands because you are the just king. Amen. Grace and peace. Continue to follow along with Psalm chapter 3.